People are saying this is the worst Halloween movie. I don't get it. I just watched Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 remake, and I remember when I first watched this movie, I did not like it. I was on that side of the story, well, not story, but side of the island where everybody hated this movie. I was one of those people. I thought this was the worst movie I've ever seen at that point. But after rewatching but to be fair, the last time I watched it, I was like 6 years old. Or 7, I can't remember when I watched it. It was around the time I just watched the remake, like the first remake. And when I rewatched it just last night, I actually enjoyed this movie. I don't get the hate. I actually like this movie. I think this is one of Rob Zombie's most redeeming movies. I don't get why a lot of people are saying this is the worst Halloween movie, but it does not come near close Halloween 6 and Resurrection. Those movies, but I don't get it. This movie is fun. I like it. I can actually see myself rewatching this movie. I can see myself rewatching this every Halloween every now and then. I enjoyed this movie. I don't care what other people say. You can yell at me all you want. I don't care. This movie was fun, and I'm going to talk about it right now. Ow, and I just stubbed my toe. My positives of this movie is like the one ambulance death where they hit a cow and they're in a crash, and the guy who's in 31, and he also plays the third Firefly in 3 from Hill. I forget his actor's name, but he was also in Barbarian. And he's pretty much saying fuck to himself for a minute straight because he just got into a car accident. And then Michael wakes up, picks up a piece of glass, and he saws off his head. That was gnarly. And speaking of gnarly, this movie is gory. And for a while, this was the goriest Halloween movie until Halloween Kills came out. And I bet if I watched this before Halloween Kills came out, before even Halloween 2018 came out, I probably would also say that this is the goriest Halloween movie I've ever seen, which is awesome, which I kind of expect from Rob Zombie because, look at his other movies like House of 1,000 Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and all that. Those are gory too. I wonder if 31's gory. I don't know. And I like the hospital opening, which a lot of people are saying oh, the first 20 minutes is just a dream sequence. It's not. Where it goes to the dream sequence is after Michael sees his mom with a white horse, which I will talk about later, walks up to her, and then it cuts to Laurie waking up in the hospital. That's when the dream sequence begins. You need to get your timing right, and you need to know when it begins. Everything after that happened. Okay? Were you good? Alright. And I do like the hospital opening, and that's the only homage that it takes from the original Halloween 2, which I'm glad because a lot of remakes just seem to oh, let's just take this classic movie and just redo all of it. Same premise, same setting, but just with different actors. That's what pretty much every remake does, and I'm sick of it. I don't like it, but for some reason, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake, some reason works for me, but at the same time, it does do things that are different. It's same type premise, but it does stuff different, so that's why I like that one. But this one also just does something different. You can tell that this is a Rob Zombie movie. The first Halloween remake that he does, you don't even tell that it's a Rob Zombie movie. But you can tell here that this is Rob Zombie because there's a lot of weird things going on, with Laurie seeing shit, and then, it's when she's saying die to Annie when she's fantasized of killing her, and then a bunch of stuff flashes at the screen. You can tell that's a music video from Rob Zombie. But that's what I like, and I gone off topic, but I'm trying to talk about the hospital opening, and also the nurse's death, that when he just stabs her so many goddamn times. I think it's at least 40 times that he stabs her over and over and over. It's amazing. And I'm pretty sure the girl who did that, I'm pretty sure she got an MTV award for that or something like that. I don't know, but she got some kind of Oscar or something like that for that scene, which is awesome, and it shows how well she was committed to that. It's pretty funny, and it's also just gnarly. You could tell how gory this movie is. I just really like the opening of this movie. If the whole movie was like that, I think a lot of people would have like this movie more. But no, Rob Zombie takes all the good stuff, puts it in the beginning, and apparently makes some more shit for people. And I think Michael is the most terrifying in this movie. He is really scary, especially in the opening. And a lot of people seem to have controversy where he just looks like a hobo and just walks around the entire time and doesn't wear the mask. Which I will talk about the mask in a bit. But I did like Tyler Mane's Michael again. He is easily one of the best. He's probably my third favorite Michael Myers. And he's just amazing in this. And I would want to see him more. If Rob Zombie didn't kill off Tyler Mane's Michael, I would have honestly wanted to see what Rob Zombie can do with the third movie, because I just want to see more Tyler Mane, really. And going on back on the topic where Michael just wears the mask when he goes into killer mode, pretty much, I like that. It makes the mask more useful, and it makes it more special. You don't just, because the police are going to look around for a guy wearing a white mask, but if he takes it off, they probably won't know it's him, and to me, it just makes it more special. But where it does say I don't like about that is when he's in broad daylight and you can clearly see his face, and when it's also just like the camera's like really close up to his face. Those parts I did not like, and they could have been taken out of the movie, and I would have still liked it though. But that could have been taken out of the movie. And when I'm talking about like putting on the mask when he goes into killer mode is like the landowner scene where like the guy like beats Michael down to his knees, or I think it was his knees, or down like on his stomach. He gets back up, puts the mask on, he takes out his big ass knife, and he goes and kills those assholes. And it's gnarly, and that just shows like when he puts on that mask, you better get the hell out of there. He's going to mess you up if you don't leave. And Brad Dourif, he did not have that big of a role in Halloween, but I still enjoyed him in that. He has a much bigger role in this, and it's amazing, and he does 20 times better than he did in the first Halloween, and I would just love Brad Dourif, and if you don't know who he is, then get the hell out of here. I just love Brad Dourif, and pretty much every movie he does, I just love him, only because of one character, really. And Annie's death. A lot of people seem not to care for this death because she's not in it that much, which I can agree. I can't agree with that. But Annie's death is so heartbreaking to me. And when Brad Dourif walks in and then he sees Annie, he breaks down in tears. And that should have won an Oscar, honestly, because it's that emotional. And you could see Brad Dourif, Sheriff Brackett, you could see his soul leave his body because he is so upset. And when he sees Sam Loomis, Dr. Loomis anyways, when he sees him, he wants to shoot his face. He wants to shoot him right in the goddamn head because this is his fault. Because he pretty much made Michael Myers. He made him for what he is, and he wants to kill Sam Loomis. He's like, I'm not scared of him. I'm not even going to focus on Michael. I'm going to shoot you in your goddamn head if you don't get the hell out of here. Just shows how much he cares about Annie, and just shows all the emotion in him. And to me, that's really heartbreaking. Now to my mixed. Weird Al's in this movie. It's pretty funny. But it's funny, but it's also unnecessary. I think, to me, like I said, it's funny, but it's just a little unnecessary, and it shouldn't be in here. Which I'm fine with. And I don't understand why Rob Zombie put him in this movie. But I thought it was pretty funny, but I feel that could have been taken out. Now, on to my negatives. And I think, no, this isn't my biggest negative. One of my negatives is the ghost mom thing, where Sherry Moon Zombie is just walk around with a little horse, and there's a little young Michael, which makes no goddamn sense. The ghost mom thing is to Jason Voorhees. Hell, Rob Zombie even said that he does not like Jason Voorhees. He pretty much despises him. He doesn't care for him. But, which is another thing, because he makes his Michael in this movie like Jason Voorhees, bigger and stronger, and he grunts too. And also with the ghost mom thing, this is more of a Jason movie, if anything. But it is titled Halloween 2, so what do you expect? I did not like that. It felt pointless, and it was just another reason just to have Sherry Moon Zombie in this movie. And Sam Loomis, he is a giant dick in this movie. He is an asshole, pretty much. He's an asshole in this movie. The only thing that he gets to do is be an asshole to everyone, and he's only worried about fame and selling his book. Now, if you ask me, he should have just died in the remake of Halloween, not the original, because that would have been horrible. He should have just died in the remake of Halloween, because he really has nothing else to do in this movie. If anything, just because, well, you gotta bring Michael McDowell back, I guess, but he could have been taken out of this movie. There could have been like a quick cameo in the beginning where they show that they're trying to save him, but they lose him and he dies. They could have done something there, but I guess since Sam Loomis is an important character to the Halloween series, that they had to bring him back. But do something different, okay? I mean, this whole movie is different from the original, but at least change one thing in the remake of Halloween and just kill off Sam Loomis, which I should have talked about in my review. And Laurie in this, she's a bitch, because she swears and yells at Annie the entire time in this movie. And she says that she only does it because when she sees her face and the scars, she is reminded of the night, and she feels that it was her fault, and she can never forgive herself for that. But then she just takes out all of her anger on her, which makes no sense. Like, it's kind of like Halloween H2O, where Laurie, she's still traumatized of that night, but she's still likable, and she's got a drinking habit, though, and she's trying to protect her son. But in this, she's just so unlikable. Like, every time she's on screen, I'm like, oh god, can we just go back to Michael? Can we go to characters that we actually like? And there's something in my head. Can we just go to characters that we actually like? I don't want to watch this lady just yell at everyone and get drunk. I don't want to see that. And now, this is my biggest negative. Is Michael talking in the director's cut. I watched the director's cut because I have not found the theatrical cut. There's a moment in this movie, Michael and Dr. Loomis crash through this barn or something. I think it was a barn. And then he takes off his mask and Sam Loomis says, "We're going to hell," and he goes, "Die!" And he stabs him. Why? I get you're trying to do something different. Why have Michael talk? Just why? You don't have to have Michael talk. You don't. Just don't. It ruins his character, and the only time he ever talked in this entire series was as a kid, and that was in the remake. But after 20 years, all you have to say is die? If anything, having the theatrical cut, sure, he could talk, just have him talk in the theatrical cut, and just have him say, "I love you" to Laurie, because Laurie says she loves him, and he could have gone, "I love you too," or something like that. But, again, after 20 years, all you have to say is die? Why? And die and why, that rhymes. And the mask in this movie, it looks fine. I think it's okay. But once it gets ripped, there's no purpose. It's like Two-Face. One side is the mask, one side is just his face. Why wear the mask at all if it's just ripped? But that's all I got to say, and I actually do recommend this movie, and I do say that you should go out and buy this movie, and at least give it a chance, please. It's not the worst movie in the world. It's not the worst Rob Zombie movie in the world. It's not the worst Halloween movie in the world. It's just not the worst of anything to me. I say at least give this movie a shot. And if you like Rob Zombie movies, this movie will probably be for you. If you want to see a different Halloween 2, this is the movie for you. And I do enjoy this movie. If you guys enjoyed my review, please subscribe and hit the bell notifications so you will get notified for my latest videos. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. And as always, see you next time.